How's it going, guys? Sean here, and this is a video for the little guy out there. This is a video for a good friend of mine, Shane, and he's looking into getting into some really nice high-end water stones. And the problem is, when you start looking at the Choseras, they're pretty expensive. This right here is a Chosera 400, and it's going to cost you about 65 bucks. Here is a Chosera 1000, and it's going to cost 15 more. And the Chosera 3000 is going to cost you 20 more than the last stone. So which one do you buy if you can only have one? It seems like there's all these different grits, and how would you make do with just one of these beautiful and very high performance stones? Well, first off, you're going to have to stay away from the high grit stuff. It's not needed. It's a finishing stone. It's only to enhance the edges that you already produce off of these lower grit stones right here. So the stones that you need to be looking into buying are going to be the 400, the 600, which I don't have, the 800, which I also don't have, and the 1000. And you're not meant to buy all the stones in a sequence. You're meant to buy 2 or 3 of these Chosera stones. So if you want to finish at a 5000 grit edge, then you'd probably look into maybe skipping the 400. You'd go 6, and then you would go 2K, and then you would go 5K. If you want to finish at a 3K, you would kind of have a more consistent finish if you went 4, and then you went 8, and then you went to the 3. So that's kind of how the jumps work. I mean, there's no exact science to it either as far as calculating the different grits. I mean, just like how you don't count the strokes with the sharpening. I mean, you just kind of use the stones and you find out what works. So I have the 400 and the 1000, and that by itself can be a good standalone itself. You can just do a 400 and a 1000 and then a stropping, and you've got yourself a good utility edge, because the higher up you go in the grit, the less the edge is going to last. If you polish out all those teeth at, say, something like this 8K stone, you're reducing the life of the edge. The edge is not going to last as long. It's going to be a sharper edge, but it's just not going to last as long. It's not going to be as good for utility, for cutting rope and things like that. So let's go ahead and check how sharp of an edge we can get with this 400, and then we'll also check with the 1000. The knife we're going to be using is a Kershaw Link. It's a 420 HC steel, stainless steel, and good knife for this test since I can sharpen it and dull it really, really fast without boring people to death. I've actually already sharpened this side over here, and you can see that. And also I thought it'd be cool to show the burr to you guys that maybe haven't seen a burr. We'll see if using this light will help here as well. And so the burr is that lip of metal. You see that kind of fuzziness at the end of the edge? That's actually the lip of metal. That's the burr that I've created with that 400. Okay, so that lets me know that I have gotten that opposite side, this side right here, true. Okay, so now I have to sharpen this side until I get the burr on the opposite side, and that lets me know I've gotten my apex. Then you gotta remove the burr. This isn't a sharpening video, but I thought it'd just be cool to share that with you guys out there. So my buddy, he already has something he can use as a stone flattener. If you don't have a stone flattener, this is just going to be the cheapest way to get into stone flattening. It's a $20 90-watt stone flattener. Keep it soaking in the water. So I've actually already been maintaining this stone very well, but some other YouTuber, he's also recommended the basics, which is just drawing the lines with the pencil and then basically cleaning off those lines with the stone, and it'll show you any low or high spots that you have on there. Alright, here we go, opposite side here. So just much more audible feedback. There's just much more feel to the 400 grit stone than the 1000. The 1000 definitely feels much smoother. Of course, I mean it's like more than double the fineness. These stones are rock hard as well, so there's no way to really gouge these stones. These are splash and go stones too, guys. I don't think I've actually mentioned that, but if you soak this stone, you will destroy this stone. So it's only meant for a quick splashing of water, or you can take the stone and you can dunk it. This is about as much soaking as I do to the stone, and then I put it back here. All right, don't leave this thing in water. It'll crack, it'll break. And just like that, it feels like we've gotten our burr on this opposite side. You're catching my thumb there. Alright, I need to work on this heel area just a little bit more though. Excellent. Cool. So now the next step, once you've gotten that burr on that opposite side that I showed you guys what it looks like, but really you just go by feel. Now you just do the weight of the knife, trailing strokes to help fatigue the burr off. And really, it also helps if you go up higher in grit to really get the burr completely off, because it'll get to a point where you'll just have a piece of fatigued metal on there that you can't necessarily get off with the stone. But yeah, light pressure. As many strokes as it takes until you feel it. It's just not catching that burr. It's hard to feel on the coarse stone though too. That's where something like your strop comes in handy. Alright, so let's show you guys. This is basically the best I deburred on the 400. So this is a 400 edge. You can hear it's just really noisy. And I probably still have some burr on there. Let's go ahead and put a little bit more pressure. Now I'll lighten the pressure. Alright, let me dry the knife off. Fresh piece of paper here. So you can just hear how noisy that is, but I mean it's definitely sharp. We definitely have a sharp apex on there, and we can definitely, if we could see the hair right there on my arm, what little I have left, we could scrape shave it, but it's not like catching the hairs or anything crazy like that. So if we wanted to finish this better, we could use a strop. Okay, we can use one of these strops. This is a softer steel too, so we could also use one of these cheesy sharpening steels. In fact, let's go ahead and do that. This is 420 HC, so if all you had, if you're just a baller on a budget and you wanted a high quality waterstone to get into sharpening, and all you had was the 400 Chosera and one of these sharpening steels, let's see if we can enhance that edge. So if you don't know what a sharpening steel is, it's basically just a really fine file. It really just kind of helps align things. It doesn't really abrade metal away, and it doesn't really work on higher end steel. So 420 HC, this will work for. Let's see what that did for our edge using something like that. And already it's just much quieter. Catching in some areas. Now, if you want better than the sharpening steel, you can definitely get into a strop. If you put in more money, you can get one of these good strops with a good diamond compound that you shake up and spray on here. And it also lets you know you can do a light, just the weight of the knife, one hand, and feel if it's catching. a little fatigue piece of metal there. If you drag on there and it feels like it's scraping the leather, that lets you know that you need some more work on stripping off that burr in that area. Alright, it feels pretty sharp. Let's check it again on the paper here. Definitely much quieter. But still, I mean, definitely not as intense of an edge, as intense as the edge could be if we brought it up to 1000. What's going to happen is, if we sharpen it and bring the burr up on the 1000 stone, you'll just get a more precision edge, a sharper edge. But this edge at 400 with the strop and cleanup is going to last longer than a higher edge. That's just how it works. So let's see if it'll. And we're shaving. We have hair popping sharpness, and all of that was just from the 400 Chosera and a 1 micron diamond strop. So I said to you guys that I'm going to go ahead and sharpen with the 1000 stone. Maybe I'll just save that for a different video. We'll kind of gauge interest there, because really, I mean, that's about as sharp as you would really need, especially. But yeah, we'll do more videos, but this is certainly take a lot of time to do. Cool. Alright, so maybe we'll do a part 2. Alright, later guys.